Well, it's just a little moment when I decide we're gonna just start on a little series where we'll show how we sew an opossum. And I've kind of shown you all here these little scraps we have, and from inside of another place I have already kind of sewn one half of it, and I think this time around I'm going to kind of do a little demonstration as to how we're going to sew in the other side of the opossum as well, and put a little more stitchery into the little figure of a, oh, I tell you, well, thread going everywhere, and put in the other side. We're going to demonstrate a little work as to how we will have all this go together and make it so it's going to be just where I say, get a little bit of this out of here. I think this thread, I didn't know how tied up or unraveled it was at first, so we're going to probably figure something out here. All in the wrong places, I'd say. Things just got a little bit messed up, I say. Don't know what we're doing here, but I'll say that this is just a place where we're going to work our way out and kind of try to get a little something in the little piece of thread here. The thread into the needle, that is. I thought the needle was already threaded at first, but you know, it was just a little tiny piece that was attached, all tied up and twisted up and all the things, I say. And as we now get it in place, we're going to put it where it goes and kind of make the knot go a place or two a little further. And I say that just for a little work we put in for what we do, I say make the line come in just about place where we need it to be. So we're kind of putting a little bit of thread into the line, trying to make sure we get these tabs lined up here. It's kind of similar to how it was with the pig, where there's these tabs we start out with that kind of go from the side of the face to the back of the head, making it so we're going to kind of like put a little work into the little possum figure and show how this is going to work a little ways to us. Oh, bright days and nights and all things, I say that it's just a little time when we got the work to make its way to us. Sometimes, just sometimes, there's just a lot to contemplate. There's kind of little things going on with my Medicare and Medicaid right now, and because I'm making more money from the school system, but you know, there's things like that we'll handle our own ways when the time comes to do so. I think my business is getting a little bit better lately and taking off a little more, and hopefully I'd say we can get things a little bit more caught up between now and Christmas, because that is just some of the best times for making the best sales that are to come. And I mean, as for all these nativities and stuff that I make out of the wood, it's just making its way along the place, and as for now, just work little threads along. Sometimes I think probably be nice this channel was a little bigger, had more subscribers. And I pray one thing to you all, if you're watching this video and you'd like to subscribe, I'd say, if you really think about wanting some more subscribers, there's a little thing you can pray, just pray about it being God's will. But it's like one thing He tells us in His prayer is to pray thy will be done. So you can pray that little prayer. And then there's another little story I have to tell you after this. But as for now, I'd like to show what we're demonstrating here. We're kind of sewing together these tabs here. We've already gone up on the ear and got a little bit of extra more ways to go further along down to make it so we see what it's going to be. But I tell you, I think about the man who had the child, the son who was possessed by the demon, and when he said to Jesus, if you can, won't you heal my boy of this spirit? And Jesus said, if you can, anything is possible for him who believes. And there's a common prayer he says, Lord, I do believe, help my unbelief. Whereas in, help me to believe more. And as soon as he believed more, that Jesus just sent the spirit out of the boy, and he was well again. And so I say, there's one thing I've learned in life is there's little times in life when sometimes, if you kind of think you'd like little good things to happen in life where you pray, little good thing to pray is, Lord, help my unbelief. Maybe I'd say we'd kind of get a little bit more subscribers and probably a little bit more contributed to this business if many more of you all would pray that prayer, Lord, help my unbelief. That's just kind of the things we pray these days, and kind of want to see how it's going to be all it's going to be worth to be. If the Lord has blessed you indeed, you can always say a little prayer and pray for this ministry and this business, and pray that everything be done according to His will. And in all things I say, we know God works in mysterious ways, and will always kind of do things in His own time. There's so much we'd like to have overnight in life, but the reality is there's so much we can't do overnight, so much we can't make overnight. Probably took me about 2 years to get 28 subscribers, so I say that these are little times where we work our way up to what we do. I mean, I'd always like to be able to show a little more and do a little more, because this is just a long time that I have to work. And I say sometimes you come to realize that there are just things where you kind of have to be patient sometimes. Just have to learn to have a little patience with what you're doing, what you're learning, because that's all just the kind of things you seem to want to have to try to learn over time, as far as what your patience means with where you're going to go, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. Oh, and I say, blessed times, we all got little things in life to learn along the way. As for this little possum critter, I say, right now I'm tying a knot up at those 2 tabs at the front of the forehead, where it almost goes down to the very nose, and put a little place on there where we make a little knot to tie, and kind of put it right in its place to see what little possums are going to be like when we get the whole project done. I say that lately there's just been a lot of marsupials in my work. I tell people at my craft fairs when I go about this little wombat that I carved out, about how the kind of work went into it, kind of make it so it was just the right critter for just the right time. And sometime or another, when I get around to getting on here and showing that, I could tell the little story about that, or you could always go to my Facebook page to see about that. As of now, we're going a little ways up the ear. And by the way, I think as this moment goes on, we might actually go completely around the whole ear, just to kind of make this little thread sew right through to make the rest of this opossum go the rest of the way. And with little videos we show and little things we do, there's so much I have to show how things are going. Sometimes, just sometimes, you think there's a lot of things that we don't achieve overnight. Sometimes wish we could. This just a little moment in my life where come out of this little comfort zone just to tell you all the little work I do. And it's just a little momentary thing that has to be shown to light the generations, I say. There was somebody new I met today. I decided instead of going to McLeod's this afternoon to go over to Pacini's Smiling Teeth Pizza and Pasta, which is down the street from my house. I have a friend who I made there when I was in there just dining in a few times, and she works there during the day, during the week, and even at night on the weekends. So I was just kind of, I'd say, happy to come in, see her. I tell you what, we're going the rest of the way along here. I forgot where I was on this, but we finally got to the place where we sewed up to the last stitch up on the ear. And as for the rest of my story, I say that there was a new waitress working in there today. She had been at the other store for years, but she came into that store today, and it said she'd been there about a month, and we had little conversations today, talked about some little things, and the interesting little plots we shared, I say, story after story. It's all just little good things we know. And sometimes, just sometimes, even Generation Z people, even it has some good people. So we kind of got a little things to say and learn from each and every one of them, just to show us all how we go about life in our ways, making things see how they go. And as for now, always enjoy kind of being able to get a little workout. There's some things I tell you I have on my Etsy page right now. May not always be there, but anybody could buy them and they could be sold. And so this is a time when we could just be having a busy season coming up. Could be that in the month of December or after Thanksgiving that we're going to try to probably get more sales, maybe on Cyber Monday, maybe. Of course, that will be one of those days that I will be working in the school cafeteria, but I'd say, I'm just getting to where I've practiced myself at business so much. I can handle things better than I could before, and just chipped off with the regular paper scissors that little area of ear that needed to be removed, I say, and try to turn that place out. And well, we'll worry about that when we come down to the other. But as for what we got right here, I say that this is just kind of like a little work we play and do, and I say, we're just kind of putting a little knot down into the foot end of this paw on this possum, and got another little line to make as well. But I think at this time we're going to go ahead and try to make this little line that comes at the end, where we line up these two pieces, and where this tab is, put a little knot of thread right into there to hold it in place, get it right as up to where it shall really need to be, and get the place right in where we make the little knot just as quickly and firmly as it goes. And as for now, make our way through, tie the little knot. And as for now, there's probably one other place we got, and that is here at the belly of the possum, where we kind of got to put the little piece of thread and needle through, and with one more little bitty knot to make here, we can kind of put it just right into its own little place and see how it shall be to turn out. And then come along, I say, chew that off. Just take a place where we're going to put a little needle right in, and just show a little ways we work, come down to where we see the very knot come into place. And then from the end of the paw, we go up here to another little spot where we come up to this little inch a little further down, make our way down to where the little project comes to an end, and take the thread in place, make it so it's going to be an opossum for the day, and show little bright characters at night, and say, oh, little ways we work in life, I tell y'all. Oh, it's just kind of little nutty ways we work around our little things, and oh, time shall only tell what will be coming of us next. And then we got a few more knots coming right through, making it the rest of the way, and we come down to see what one little critter is going to make itself out and down to be when we all get done. And then the work is going to shine its own way, have its own way with us. And then I say, work shall come, work shall go. Oh, little possum boy, take itself up the journey of the lifetime, I say. And there's going to be times when we're going to work into this and see how light shall shine in us and go through us and put little mercy shores into us and say, all things considered, all things we know. And when we work along, we're going to sing a little song and say, this is how it goes. This is how it goes. I mean, there's times in my life where, I get older, I tell you, I just can't be out at night as much, and things just change because, you kind of have a little more responsibility in life than you used to, and finally discover that there's so much you have to learn in life just to kind of get ahead sometimes. And I say for this, I kind of got to work along little paths to see how we make our way up. And now we come up down around the opossum's leg. We already kind of went from the paw to another area and then kind of put it so we just got little bitty stitches to make going up here up to the little belly tummy, and put little stitchery in to show that, oh, kinda come like this. And there's just a lot of things we don't know what to do with these days, and materials will come in different shapes and different sizes. Little do we know how they're going to work, how they're going to come, what they're all going to be like when we all get done. But I say that this is just kind of the way our little jobs take us. And I'd say sometimes it can be hard to sell much, even if you'd like to, even if you'd hope to. Sometimes there's moments in life where we have to go through all the little things before we can accomplish the big things. And this was a big strand of thread that got cut off by accident, so kind of just like put the little thread right into the needle, make its way go in. I say, oh, like how we take things along. Sometimes, just sometimes, there are times in our life where things just won't be the same again, but oh, the little ways we manage things. I say, put a little thread in that, and this time we're kind of doing it at the quarter of the paw, because we only have to go a little ways down just to meet up with the stitch that is at the center of the tummy, and possibly even just go back up and meet where the stitching is up at the other end of the arm, closer up to where we get to the head. See how all this work shall come in us, brighten us, tell us all we all just work to do what we do. And oh, blessed children of the way, I say, come down, put a little time, a little work in us, and finally get the stitch to go, rest the way through. We're probably going to get back up here to another place eventually where we're going to try to put it up a little higher, a little further, and see where this is just leading us to where a little happiness shall come in our way. Oh, the things we'll see when we get done, and oh, the little nice little habit-forming places we have, and all the things we see, all the things that bless us indeed, enlarge our territories, and make us all free from harm and pain, just like the old prayer Jabez prayed. I say, we're coming little ways up, making little things happen, and so we don't know, this series could have fewer parts than the other when it really comes down to it, but we're going to get it all done here sooner or later at any little given moment. So let's be happy for the work we have and have in our hands, and all we can do to show a little gift and support and ability. You know, there comes little times in our lives when we'll just have to realize, you know, that grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes you think it is. From a distance, it just kind of appears like that, but you know, you just kind of see, sometimes you kind of have to be on the other side of things to really come to realize it. Sometimes I'd say my old stories in life, things I used to get out and do, you know, they were different in those days, and times sure have had to change since then. And I say for now, we're going to try to kind of get a little clipping away to take care of this little bit of an ear and kind of put some light down into the place where we work a little ways about this. I say that it's just kind of working life, making things see how we see things, to come and go, and oh, the things I say, I tell y'all, we probably made a hole in the stitching here, probably kind of did a little something in the ear, but that's okay, we can manage that. We got ways of dealing with that. So I say that this little time we're working on here is just kind of like where we see what it's going to be. So put a little stitch in there, make it so we're going to have a little place in the center of the ear, put along little timing, and kind of put the knot directly in place, and come to where we see just what the work is coming down exactly in us, what it's going to be, to see this little possum here being just a little character to us of love and grace and kindness. I say there's just one little work I do, and that I tell you all, I took some denim colored thread, because this denim making the outside of the head and the outside of the ear is really a denim like color, and so we kind of got to put the stitchery in, make it so the possum is coming out just so nice and good, and just a little work put in. Oh, the blue that kind of comes to us and shined a little light, giving us grace and mercy and peace. I say, tell you all that, oh, what little work we have. Oh, just little time we make. I say, just kinda work right in. Think there's going to be a moment we'll take care of this other ear as well, but do think it's probably the moment where we bring this video to an end. Been on here for quite a while now, so about to say I might be done for the moment. We'll be back on another time to show how we'll sew together the front and the back. Thank you for watching. Take care.